למען החיים אדם ברונו, אדם ברונו, שלום בך, למען בייס השם אלוהינו, אבקשתו ויבלח. Because of my brothers and friends, Avakshatav, 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 Leman Beis Hashem Elokeinu, Adam Rav Shalom Bach, Leman Beis Hashem Elokeinu, Adam Rav Shalom Bach. Page 200 and
220. We finished. We're ready to start the second last paragraph.
Hakshivu lazeh. So Reb Shlomo was saying that when a Yid is coming and is looking for a connection with Yiddishkeit, they're not looking for details right now. They're looking for the pnimius, right? They want to be connected with the infinite light. Hakshivu lazeh, listen to this. Ma koreh lanu kishanu begalut? Ma anu to'amim? When we're in Golus, what are we tasting? Anu to'amim et or Hashem b'li kelim. We're tasting the light of God without vessels. Ein lanu kelim l'or Hashem. We don't have the vessels for God's light. Ma pirush, what does that mean? What do I mean to say? Anu lo yodim ma la'asot im or Hashem. We don't know what to do with God's light. Anu rotzim, we want to, אבל כל העניין מעל לתפיסתנו, but it's above us. It's above our grasp. כל העניין גבל זה עמוק, זה כל כך עמוק, the whole thing is so deep. למה משיח נולד בתשעה באב? Why is according to our tradition Mashiach born on Tisha B'Av? So Reb Shlomo explains, אין יום שבו אנחנו מרגישים את האינסופיות של עונש השם כמו בתשעה באב. There's no day that we feel the infiniteness of God's punishment like we do on Tisha B'Av. Ma ha'inyan, page 221. What is this? What is this matter that we're talking about? If somebody wants to serve God with some kind of limitation, it's very sweet. However, about tishkechu mizah, forget about it. Forget about that. Tishkechu mizah. Avodat Hashem hi lo business. Serving Hashem is not a business contract. Shovdim sham miteshe baboker at chamesh acharei etzarayim. It's not something that, like you work from 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. Utzcheichim lahaklid shiyasim milim bedaka, 60 milim bedaka, and that you have to be able to type 60 words a minute. Ba'asakim hakol inyan shel gvul. In business, everything is got its limitations. Everything is measured. Haim ha'yadut b'ota rama? Is Yiddishkeit on the same level? Tzarich la'aniach tefillin b'boker, להתפלל מנחה בשעה מסוימת. You have to put on tefillin in the morning, daven mincha at a certain time, להתפלל ערבית, ללמוד 2 דפים ביום, daven maariv, learn 2 pages of Talmud, ואם אפשר 3, and if possible 3. זה נקרא עסקים. That level is called business relationship. In other words, we have our obligations and we have to meet them. But we want to do more than that. And he רוצה שתפתחו את שערי הלב בצורה העמוקה ביותר. I want you to open the gates to your heart in the deepest way. מדוע אנשים שונאים זה את זה? Why do people hate each other? יש אנשים שחיים בצורה גבולית. There are people that live in a very limited, ordered, bordered fashion. הטוב שלהם בגבול. The good that they do has its limits. הדת שלהם בגבול. The religion is also with its limits. והנישואים שלהם בגבול. And their marriage also has its limits. ואפילו שהוא הגבול העליון ביותר, even if it's got the highest limits. כאשר אחד מהם מסתכל בשני, so when one person like that looks at another, ורואה שהוא אינו חי בגבול, and he sees another person who's living without these limits, without the borders, הוא שונא אותו. He hates that other person. הוא אומר, he says, אני מתפלל 3 פעמים, אתה מתפלל פעמיים. I'm praying 3 times a day, you're only praying twice a day. אני שונא אותך. I don't like you. אם אני עושה משהו ואתה לא עושה אותו דבר, if I'm doing something, and you're not doing the same thing, אני שונא אותך, I hate you.
That's a very strong word.
But give me a minute, give me another minute, Michal. You're right, it is a very strong word. Okay? אבל אם אני עובד את השם בצורה העמוקה ביותר, but if I'm serving Hashem in the deepest way, הרי שלכל דבר קטן שאתה עושה, so then every little thing that you are doing, יש משמעות רבה מאוד לגבי. It has so much meaning to me. כי האין סוף יודע עד כמה יקר כל דבר קטן, because it's the infinite one who knows how precious every little thing is. I'm responding to what you said, Michal. Why is Reb Shlomo using such harsh language? So you might feel that that language is not appropriate to your experience, granted, but let's put it in context. Okay? What does the Talmud say? That the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of sinat chinam, baseless hatred. Now, what's the definition of baseless hatred? The definition of baseless hatred, the way we learned was, it's not that it's mamish, like, I hate this person. By our standards, if I think that I can do without this person in the world, that's already considered sinat chinam. Okay, that's considered baseless hatred. In other words, you come into a room. The room is a little bit crowded. You look around and you say, like, I wish there was more space. Like, why did this guy have to show up? He's taking up so much space, right? Like you were talking about something like that before, right? Why? Well, that's chinam. That's it's one thing that that you want more space, you want to be more comfortable, this presents your hate. But if that you want to be more comfortable, and you're thinking about, like, I would be happier if this guy and this guy wouldn't have come. Okay, that's sinat chinam. So if you put it in that context, right? So who are the people that we don't? Who are the people that are not appreciated? In general, this is a generalization. Okay, in general, it's people who are doing less than we're doing. Okay? In other words, we set ourselves as the standard, right? I am davening 3 times a day. I am, attending services. I am keeping this standard of kashrus, and so on and so on. And therefore, anybody that's doing less is not really good enough. Okay? Maybe I don't hate the guy, right? But I don't appreciate him. Right? I don't appreciate him. Okay? I'm not appreciating this person. So he says, if you were serving Hashem on the deepest level, you would appreciate every little thing that somebody else does. Just last night, coming home from Arif, I met a very, very special young man from South Africa. You're not from South Africa. Why not? Ask your parents, right? And this young man and his wife, they have a place in their home that's known as Rina's house. And they take in girls post high school and maybe older, who grew up in religious homes and sort of left, for one reason or another. And they provide them with, like, a home to live in. They don't tell them they don't tell them what to do Yiddishkeit wise. They're providing a welcoming space for them, and many of the girls that come to them eventually come back to their Yiddishkeit. So we were talking a little bit, and in the course of the conversation, I was reminded of a story with the Alter Rebbe and Rebbe Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, and another one of their colleagues who was known by the name of Reb Yeva. And they had gone to for some reason or other, they went to a certain town to attend the wedding of an orphan. Who it was, I don't know. So when they got there, it turns out that the poets of that town had been swindling the Tsar, wasn't turning over all the taxes he was supposed to turn over, or whatever it is, and he received word that on the following day there some officers and some inspectors are coming to check the books, whatever it is, and according to their calculations, they owe him. He owes them another 10,000 rubles, and that was the truth. But he didn't have the money, so what did he do? He knew that there was this important wedding taking place in town, so he went and arrested the chassan, the orphan, and he told the Jewish community 10,000 rubles ransom. So on the day before the wedding, or the day, Sadal Rebbe and Reb Yitzchak and Reb Yeva, they say to the leaders of the community, make up a list of all the people in town and how much everybody can contribute, and we're going to go and we're going to collect the money. So they made up a list. It wasn't a large community. 10,000 rubles was a fortune of money. And they make a calculation of what they think that everybody could contribute, and it was it wasn't even 500 rubles. Yeah? The Alter Rebbe says to them, is everybody on the list? So they said, yeah. So he asked again, is everybody on the list? So they said, well, there's one Yid that we didn't bother putting his name down because there's no point in even approaching him. Why not? Because he does have money, but he is so stingy. It's already years and years and years that whenever somebody comes and asks him for money, he has this old copper coin that's green already, and he gives it to the poor person, and everybody just throws it back at him. The Alter Rebbe says, put him on the list. The Alter Rebbe goes with Reb Yitzchak and Reb Yeva to this man's house, and do you need a pillow or something? You okay? You okay? Huh?
Yes.
Baruch Hashem. And he says to Reb Yitzchak and to Reb Yeva, before they go in, he says, promise me that you're not going to say a word. Just be there with me and follow me, whatever I do. Otherwise, don't come in. Okay, they promised him. You knock on the door, and this Yid opens the door, and he sees these three rabbis, tzaddikim. He says, wow, what an honor to have you here, And the Alter Rebbe says, can we maybe come in? So he says, of course. And they come in, and they tell him the story that the chassan has been taken captive. They need to raise money. He's supposed to be getting married later today. And the man says, the stingy man says, I'm so honored that you considered me to participating in this big mitzvah. I'm so happy. Let me give you a contribution. And he takes out that copper coin that's already green, whatever it was worth, maybe a half a ruble or whatever, and he gives it to the Alter Rebbe. And the Alter Rebbe says, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And he motions to Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Yeva, okay, let's go. And they leave. They say goodbye, thank you so much, and they leave. Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Eva are like a little bit in shock. They walk out of the house. They walk half a minute or whatever, and this Yid is running after them. If you want something for your leg, take it.
No, it's just so that it's all right.
But
I need to be I need to
aligned.
have my body towards you.
Yeah. He's skipping class already. He's the best.
I know it.
He's the best.
I know it. I know
He's the
it.
best. I love him. Ah! Hey, take a book and come sit down. So they walk. They're like they're like less than half a minute away from their house, and the Yid comes running after them. Thank you for opening the door. We were very honored that this Yid opened the door for you. He says, please do me a favor. Can you come back in? I would like to give you some more. So they go back in. And again, he says, listen, I really want to give you some more money. This is a really worthy cause. And he gives them another half a ruble. The Alter Rebbe says, thank you so much. Right? And they say goodbye and they leave. And Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Eva are like thinking to themselves, they've got a lot of people to go see, and like the Alter Rebbe is like thanking this man profusely for every little bit that he's doing. But they promised they weren't going to interfere. This happens the third time, the fourth time. Each time the Alter Rebbe, very with his whole heart, he thanks this Yid. Finally, he runs after them and he says, please come back in. How much money do you need? And he said, we need 10,000 rubles. And he says, is it okay if I give it all? And he takes out and he gives them the whole batch of money. They thanked him so much, and they went ahead and they paid the ransom. Chassan was liberated. And Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Eva, they want to know, like, what did you do here? What kind of miraculous thing did you pull off over here? The Alter Rebbe says, I didn't do anything miraculous. I'll tell you what it is. This guy was a wealthy guy, and he is now too. But even a wealthy person, it happens in business sometimes, that they might be one day without any money. You know, like you make a deal here, you make a deal there, this one goes sour, that one goes sour, you lose some money here. And it's possible that a very wealthy person could one day find himself with nothing. And that's what happened with this man. And all he had left was this one coin. And a poor man approached him for a donation. And he literally took out his last coin and gave it to him. But this poor man was expecting, like a wealthy man, look at this house and this and that. He was expecting a much more generous donation. So in disgust, he took the coin and he threw it back at him and insulted him. So this man decided then that he's never going to give any more tzedakah until somebody is going to thank him for this coin. And every time over the years, every time that somebody came and asked him for a donation, they were expecting a nice donation from him. And he would take out this coin and he would give it to them. And everybody kept on throwing it back at him. And as time went on, his heart got closed more and more. All he needed was that somebody should thank him. And that's what we did today. We thanked him. And every time that we thanked him, his heart opened up a little bit more. His heart opened up a little bit more. And that's what happened. Okay? So the end of the story is, if it's like, you want to have like a good ending to the story type of thing, like a happy ending.
That was a great ending.
Is that it is a great ending. You don't need to go further. That's the truth. But they do tell more about it. Is that the poets decided tomorrow they're coming from the Tsar, and I have 10,000 rubles now. What do I need to give it away for? I'll take the money and go, and 10,000 rubles, I could live the rest of my life like a king somewhere else. And they probably won't find me. So he takes the money, he has a few glasses of vodka before he goes, gets on his horse, and he rides out to the bridge to leave town, and the wedding is taking place under the bridge. And he's in his wagon, and anyway, he's drunk and he's beating the horses, and somebody is coming towards him from the other side of the bridge. Anyway, it's there's a fight, and the wagon turns over, and the box with all the money falls down, and the wedding was taking place under the bridge. He fell into the water and he drowned, and they said, "Oh, look, here's the money," and they decided to give it to the Chosin and the Kalet. And who was the happiest guest at that simcha? The guy who had given the money, right? Because he was finally liberated from his prison, so to speak, right? Anyway, so that's the Indian that what Reb Shlomo is saying, is that when you're serving Hashem on the deepest level, you appreciate every little thing that somebody's doing. But when it's quote unquote a business relationship, understand? So you have your idea that that if you do this much and this much and this much, you daven 3 times a day, you give so much tzedakah, then you're a good Jew, and anything less than that is not, and you can't stand anybody that's doing less than that. So it's because you're not. So the reason that you think that way is because you yourself are relating with Hashem in a business manner. So you have no appreciation of the value of every good little thing that a person is doing. Because the truth is, if you're connecting with the Infinite One, you don't know. There could be one. It's like the story with the Baal Shem Tov on Yom Kippur. The shepherd comes in, and there's different versions of the story, right? One version is that he takes out his flute. The other version is that he just crows like a rooster, and cock-a-doodle-doos like a rooster, or whatever. And everybody's like, "Hey, what are you doing here? It's Yom Kippur." And the Baal Shem Tov stops them, and he says, it's his prayer that opened up the gates of heaven. Right? It's his prayer that opened up the gates of heaven. And so you don't know. You can be standing and davening the whole day, and a Yid comes in and says, "Hello, God. I love you." And it could be that he opened up the gates for all the holy people that are in shul.
That happened on Shabbat. There was a young man from Birthright, and he obviously didn't know the blessing before you're called up for an aliyah. And one of the other gentlemen prompted him, the name that opened up that heart totally.
Yeah.
That somebody else took care of someone else, another Jew.
Yeah.
To have
right.
An aliyah.
Right.
It was from Chutzlaretz on a Live Not program. I mean, this will be in his heart forever.
Okay. So this is what Reb Shlomo is saying over here. We're on page 221. Did you memorize the whole page? Good.
Mm-hmm.
I had no doubts. So he says, Hakshivu, bottom of the page, 5th last line. Hakshivu shuv l'stira hazot. Listen once again to this contradiction, this paradox. When you go, and I want you to open up the gates of your heart. If I love you in an infinite way, maybe I can't forgive you even for the smallest thing because I love you so much. But know one more thing. If I love you in the deepest infinite way, even the smallest positive thing that you do, it has tremendous meaning to me. Okay? Page 222. If somebody loves me just a little bit, and I hurt her inadvertently, she'll forgive me. But if we really love each other, and she says, I'm never going to speak to you again, al davar katan, for some little thing that I did, at that moment, megalim li min hashemayim, it's being revealed to me from heaven, at kama hi ohevet oti, it's being revealed to me how much she loves me. Okay? It's paradoxical, right? It's paradoxical, and it doesn't make much sense to us because we don't normally think this way. We don't normally operate this way, right? Because unfortunately, we have our business relationship with Hashem. I'm saying we often relate to God in a business manner, so to speak. I did this and this and this. That's enough, right? Let me ask you a question. Two people. One says, I'm a really good person. I do good things. But I don't do it because the Torah says, I do it because I want to. I'm a good person. I want to do that. The other person says, I also do good things, but I do it because I'm commanded to. What would be your initial reaction? Who do you think is like on a higher level?
The person
The person who's doing the good because he believes in doing good, and not because he's commanded to, right? And you?
I would say because he was commanded to.
Why would you say that? Because she said the opposite.
No, it's what I used to always.
Because what?
That's how I grew up.
Because you're commanded to, right? And what do you say?
The one who is commanded, and I'm taking the job from my own personal life, there were times, there are times now. I don't like to get up early in the morning and start davening. I'm sort of half asleep still. But that's the commandment. But I force myself to remember that before a certain time I have to say Kriya Shema. Does God really care? For heaven's sake, I'm one of 1 billion people. But I do it because that's,
To Hashem, you are a unique individual. Okay. But you gave me an example. With davening, you told me that this is the way you were raised. And Tzipora Liba said that to her, doing it because this is the kind of person that you are, because you want to do good, is higher and deeper. Okay, good. So where will the difference show up between these two people? So the person who's doing kindness because he wants to be a kind person and he's a good person and so on. To him, he's got a certain sense that for me to consider myself to be a good person, I have to do so much and so much good. Okay. I don't need to do more than that. I'm already doing more than most, let's say. Or I'm doing what I consider to be like really honorable and a really honorable amount of kindness. Okay? Good. But the person who's sincerely doing acts of kindness because he's commanded to him, now this is not, I'm talking in generalizations, I admit right now, okay? To him, the issue is not how much kindness did I do? Did I do enough, I'm going to get a good report card? To him, the issue is, if he has a deep understanding of the mitzvah, to him the issue is that what needs to be done. Okay? So if, let's say, he's taking care of 3 people on his block, 3 elderly people, make sure that they get a warm meal every day, okay? And then he finds out that there's a 4th person and a 5th person, and that this neighbor's kid needs help with his homework, and this one needs a piece of furniture, etc. Okay? So if his relationship is quote unquote the business relationship, understand? Meaning to say, he has his own standards of what's good and what's enough. So then he's going to say, Rabbi Shalom, I'm doing my share, let somebody else worry about it. Okay? But if he's totally dedicated to Hashem in the deepest way, to him, if there's somebody that still is lacking, so good, he gave 3 people a warm meal, but there's one person going to sleep without a warm meal, or one child going to bed without enough food in the house for supper. He feels that I have to do something about this. I have to do something about this, right? But you already did enough. It doesn't matter. Hashem has made me aware that there's more, that the need is greater. And Hashem, I have limited resources. And I need more resources to get it done. Right? He's going to get them. I met this Yid years ago. I used to go sometimes Friday night to daven at Breslov. This Yid is like always at the door, waiting for somebody knew that he can invite for the Shabbos meal. So a couple of years ago, I met him on Hoshana Rabbah at night. It was 1:00 in the morning already, and he's walking around the Kotel. This plaza is full of people. Hoshana Rabbah, the night before Simchas Torah. He's going around. He's collecting money. It turned out that we were sitting next to each other on the number 1 bus coming back into the city. So I asked him, what are you collecting money for? So he says that he lives in Meah Shearim, and there's a fair number of people that are single, and either they never got married or they divorced, whatever. About 80 of them, he said, and they don't have a home, they don't have a sukkah. So what he's been doing for years is he builds a big sukkah with space, not just for people to eat there, but also to sleep there, because you're supposed to sleep in the sukkah too. And he says he and his wife and his kids are on their feet all day, peeling potatoes, cooking soup, making the chicken, making the food for Yom Tov. And they're feeding 80 people a day, three meals a day. So I said to him, and he has to collect the money too. So I said to him, so what are you serving? Are you serving chicken or are you serving meat? So he says, we're serving meat and wine because according to Halacha, right, on Yom Tov, ein simcha ela b'basar u'b'yayin, to have a meal that is a simcha meal, you have to serve meat and you have to serve wine. So I said, but you're working so hard to collect the money, isn't it good enough if you would serve chicken? So he said that he actually spoke to the Rabbanim when he started this project, and he asked them, like, you know, what should I do? And he said that they told him, if you're doing it, do it all the way. Serve that meat. And this guy's running around and 1 o'clock in the morning trying to get the money together so that he can keep this going, right? Now, if it was on the level of, I am just a good person and I'm doing a lot of good, he'd be serving chicken and he'd also be doing a tremendous amount of good, right? But to him, the issue is what needs to be done. What needs to be done? We need to feed all these people, and we need to feed them away according to what the halacha says, and that's what he does. That's what he does.
I misunderstood your question.
No, you didn't misunderstand.
No.
Your answer was correct in the context the way you understood it. You didn't misunderstand me.
No, because I was thinking actually the opposite, like exactly the opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're a person who really wants to do good and has goodness in their heart and really just wants to do good for people. It means there's no limitations. But you're saying the opposite. It means there are limitations.
Yeah, because
so yeah.
There are. Listen, whatever we're going to say, there's always going to be exceptions, right?
Right.
In either
So what
branch.
my train of thought was,
So you weren't wrong, and that's why I didn't tell you. I didn't. You're not wrong. This was an issue that I personally had. Okay, at one point in my life, I was honestly questioning myself: am I doing good because of my image of myself? You know what I mean? And I have to be like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the way I want to be. Or am I doing the mitzvah because Hashem is telling me to do the mitzvah, right? And I seriously, for a long time, thought it's better that I'm doing what I'm doing because I believe in doing it, right? Well, then I began to realize the difference is that as long as I was doing it based on my own self-perception, there still are, but there was a limit, right? There was a limit. But if you truly give yourself over to Hashem, then you want to help somebody that you like, and you're ready to help somebody that you don't like either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's not
but
about
the limit. Right.
Because you're human, but it's not about, you know, like what makes me feel good. It's about what needs to be done.
Right.
What does Hashem want me to do, right? And if I'm doing it, if you're doing it because this is what Hashem wants me to do, so then you can turn to Hashem and you can say, Hashem, I want to do what you want. You've obviously arranged circumstances that I should be well aware of this need and that need and that need. Now, there is an organization here in Yerushalayim, I'm not sure which one it is, Chazon Yeshayahu or whatever it is, that's become a massive chesed organization. Besides providing daily meals in the hundreds, besides providing food packages for poor families, they have warehouses of furniture that they collect, that people can go and get furniture, secondhand, but still for free. You can go and get a computer. If your children need private tutoring or something, they'll arrange for that. And this was started by two brothers who work and they're in business, and they realized that, I don't know how old they were at the time, but there was an elderly lady on their block that wasn't eating properly. There was nobody taking care of her, and they decided to make sure that she's going to get at least one warm meal a day. Well, it didn't take long before other elderly people heard about this, and they were contacted and they said, we need it too. So they started serving more meals, and this is all while they're working and while they're doing their thing, right? And it grew and it grew and it grew, and it's a major chesed organization today. Okay, it's amazing. Yesterday, this young man I started telling you about, the man I met from who lives here from South Africa, and he was telling me that so he has to fundraise for his. You've heard of Rina's house? Mm-hmm. No. So he has to raise the money for this too. And or Rina's place, they call it. Anyway, his wife's name is Rina. So he was visiting South Africa, and he went. He got the name of one of the big Bali Tzedakah, one of the big charity givers in that city. And this guy runs an insurance company or whatever it is. He's got like 5,000 people working there. And he got invited to his office. But he says it was amazing. Even when he called up, the secretary, usually when you call these executives, right, just to get through to speak to them is like a major hurdle. And here, like, the secretary calls up and she says, oh, Mr. So-and-so is busy right now. I'm so sorry, but he will call you back as soon as possible. That's the way she spoke to him. And sure enough, a few minutes later, the head of this big company calls him up and he says, yeah, please come visit me. And he comes to his office, and this man is sitting, everything is like really beautiful all around, but his own office is pretty humble. And they talk for a few minutes, and he tells this young man, so first of all, he gives him a nice big donation. Okay? Then he says and he starts thanking him, and he says, listen, I'm just a simple Jew. I'm not particularly religious. I'm sure he keeps Shabbos, keeps kosher and so on, but he says, I leave my office every day, I go home, I watch TV with the kids, just like, And he says, but you guys are, you're living it. You're living Yiddishkeit the way it's supposed to be. And it's my biggest honor that I can participate in what you're doing. I go to shul once a week or whatever it is. And so my friend tells me he was so grateful, not just for the donation, he was even more grateful for the encouragement and the kind words that he heard from this man. Okay. So the following year, he calls him up again. You got to run. Have a good Shabbos. The following year, thanks for coming. What?
It might be in Jerusalem for Shabbat.
Yeah?
We're doing Spanish history, right? No?
No, because it's right before the fast.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, cultive. And he calls him up and he says, listen, you don't have to bother coming to my office, and I'll just send you a check. So he says, no, you don't understand. I'm so encouraged by you. I want to come just to see you and speak with you for a few minutes. Yeah. And then I heard, he told me that one of the Rosh Yeshivas from a big yeshiva went to South Africa, and he called up this man, and he said to the rabbi, where are you staying? And the rabbi said, what's the difference? I want to come and see you. So he says, no, I'm going to come and see you. You know, I've heard about you. I've heard about your yeshiva. It's not proper that you should come to me. I'm coming to you. Right? So you see, there's, like, you know, when you're connecting with, like, the Ein Sof, you're doing tremendous things. So have a good Shabbos, everybody. Nicole, you know what we were talking about while you were deep in